What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about Tesla stock and do a comparison with this and NIO. I'm going to break down some very important news that's coming out and how it's affecting Tesla. Why this is very important for all NIO investors to know about, because there's a very deep connection between these stocks. Before I break down all this information, before I talk about how Tesla's looking and why this is very important for NIO, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks. And this offer ends very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's going on with the market. When it comes to Tesla, Tesla's looking very, very weak right now, if I'm going to be frank with you. So if you look at the weekly time frame, right? On the weekly time frame, we have this very important support. Let me actually just switch over the charts for 1 second. There we go. On the weekly time frame, we have the 200 moving average at 217.5, and Tesla's approaching this critical support. But the problem is we're just barely holding on. We look very bearish on the weekly. There's a very high probability it's going to break this. So if that ends up being the case, the question is, are we going to be continuing to build this like head and shoulders like structure that's kind of slanted? Are we about to continue to sell off back to 200, even 180? It's always a real possibility. And I want you guys to be prepared for that, because things for Tesla are not looking that great. The reason why Tesla's selling off is because of some bad news. So, in case you guys don't know, the first bad piece of news came from this. Well, there are actually two things. First off, Tesla announced it's going to be raising prices for many of its production workers, and I think that's great in some ways for their workers. I think they deserve, pay raises if you want to go that route. They're hardworking, they're very assiduous, and it's great for them, right? So that's what we all know. But the truth is, from a business standpoint, that's not always the best of news, because people are going to be wondering, how is Tesla going to make these payments? How is Tesla going to afford to raise more prices for all these production workers? And that is, in my opinion, going to lead to bigger expenses for them, and this could affect their margins. That's what's kind of concerning some investors. That you don't have to be like an evil person if you have this view. It's simply just you looking at this from a business standpoint, because it's very important to look at the financial aspect of decisions like that. But nonetheless, I still have a lot of sympathy and empathy for the people working very hard for Tesla to help make the world a better place. And I want the best for everyone. So I do believe that people deserve pay raises. I do want the best for all of them. But we have to be honest here. There are going to be costs involved in making a decision like that for Tesla. And that's what kind of concerns some investors. Now, there's another piece of news that came out that's pretty negative. Tesla's paused German production after the Red Sea shipping attacks. So very, very bad news. They're basically going to be pausing production from January 29th to February 11th because of some issues that happened. And this could actually slow down their numbers for deliveries and such. So this is actually some negative news. This is going to happen in Berlin, or very close to Giga Berlin. It's happening amidst some issues, which made it a lot more difficult for certain components to make it to Tesla, leading to some supply chain issues. So that's some negative news. And with that pause coming, it's going to affect Tesla's numbers. Not the best for deliveries and such. Not so good news for Tesla. On top of this, Tesla stock has dropped because of price cuts in China. That's another big thing that came out, and this is actually going to affect NIO. So Tesla is basically announcing that it's cutting its prices. The new prices for the Model 3 came out, the Model 3 sedan and the Model Y SUV, with the Model 3 seeing a 5.9% cut, Model 3 seeing the 5.9% cut, the Model Y seeing a 2.8% cut, and that's very, very important. So with these cuts coming, it's not the best of news, kind of negative, and people are a little bit concerned about this. Uh, I'm also a little bit concerned because Tesla's margins are getting hurt by this, and there's slowing demand that's continually affecting Tesla. Slowing demand is slowing down, potential profitability from Tesla. It's hurting their margins, and you can't forget about other factors such as high interest rates and such. So those are important things worth noting. Now, when it comes to the market, don't forget the market's going to be closed on Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We'll be back on Tuesday for trading. And finally, I just want to talk about Tesla stock. So the reason why it's important to talk about Tesla is because when you look at a comparison between Tesla and NIO, you will see that this blue line right here is just like Tesla. The white line is NIO. Notice how they came up together back in 2023, early 2023. They dropped together very similarly. They pumped similarly, except NIO was a little bit delayed. Then they dropped in a similar fashion, except Tesla was outperforming for a few months before they both came down. Then they both pumped together as we approached the end of the year. And then as of recent, they both have been selling off, right? NIO is selling off and so is Tesla. They're selling off together. And the reason why Tesla's selling off is for similar reasons for that of NIO. Both of them are in China. There could be some demand issues. Both of them have a lot of FUD coming out. And NIO had a lot of bad news involving price cuts and such. So this led this thing to selling off even more. If we make a grid here, now we just put them side by side, I can even show you what I'm talking about. If you look at them, Tesla has been selling off quite a bit for the last few weeks, NIO as well. Similar timings in which the sell-offs started. NIO is right here, Tesla's right here. And how are things looking? Well, for both stocks on the weekly, they both look kind of bearish. Tesla's approaching the weekly 200 EMA around this 200 area, 201 to be more precise, around 200. We also lost, or we're very close to the 200 moving average, right? The 200 moving average is going to be on the weekly time frame. That's right at 217. If we lose that, that's it for Tesla. It's going to be sinking a lot more. Is it the end of the world, however? The answer is no. It's not necessarily the end of the world. I see this head and shoulders like structure on Tesla's kind of slanted. I did warn you guys about this. I know about how Tesla's looking. I know about these, supply chain disruptions. I know about all the things that are going on. But that is not changing my view of the company. I'm still a big bull for Tesla. I still believe in the company's long-term future. Now, for NIO, I think that NIO has some similar issues with margins, fears about demand issues, the recessionary fears and such, and investors are starting to price a lot of this in early on. Now, we're going to be watching NIO's deliveries and their margins, how they continue to improve. My gut is still telling me, however, that although NIO is going to see some downside, even for the short term, we're going to be looking for some very, very good opportunities because that's the way I see it. Looking at stocks like Tesla and NIO dropping, this is an opportunity, not a curse. Okay. The reason it's an opportunity is because for the long term, both of these companies are going to show massive improvements, especially NIO. And I think that NIO is going to get closer to profitability once things start to clear up. Once the recessionary environment improves, things will clear up for them. So for those people out there who are saying NIO is a bad company, it's this and that, NIO is dropping with Tesla. They're dropping together. Tesla was at 265 a share just a few weeks ago. Now it's at 218, approaching 200. NIO is at 9.5. Now it's at 7.1. Both of them are taking big hits. But because NIO is basically like a smaller cap, the hit looks a little bit bigger relative to the share price. That's why NIO could drop a lot more, a bigger percentage per day. So, with that being said, is there downside coming for these companies? Yes. Most likely, the charts look bearish. There could be more hardships, especially if the whole market starts sinking. I'm not sure if NIO is going to hold $7. It has some tight support there. We'll see if that holds. But it's not necessarily the end of the world because of the fact that NIO, in my opinion, this is just creating another good buying opportunity. Same thing for Tesla. And once Tesla recovers and starts to run, I think that NIO will start to slowly follow the trend. Once the market starts to recover, it's a big recovery after this market starts to sink, which we're not ready for yet, but it's going to happen soon. NIO is going to show signs of strong recovery. All these new models, the battery swapping business is not necessarily in vain. I believe in the company. I'm very confident it will come back. So please don't let this get the best of you. But with that being said, thank you all for listening. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Will NIO drop more? Yes, for the short term, but the long term is still very bright. I still see this thing surpassing $20 before the end of the year. And I think that this is going to be fueled by its earnings, not to mention its strong deliveries and a big economic, excuse me, a big recovery in the stock market towards the end of the year. Could the market correct a bit? Yes, it can. I think there's going to be a big bull run to end the year as we approach the election year, and I still hold that same view. So that being said, have a great day, guys. Remain calm, cool, and collected, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.